What's up, Marks? It's your boy Heyman Guy here, and I just have two words. Wow and domination. From top to bottom, I truly think this is the best show of the year. It's definitely the show I enjoyed, even more so than WrestleMania. And what I'm here to do today is bring you my review of WWE's SummerSlam pay-per-view. But it's not just me today. I have a friend of mine who I just watched the show with. I'll give him the opportunity to introduce himself, and then we'll jump right into the matches. So, friend?
Hey guys, my name is James. No special name, but thanks for inviting me.
Okay, just to give a little more background on you, if I remember correctly, isn't it you were a WCW fan, more so than WWE, right?
Yeah, WCW, I started watching wrestling back when Monday Night Wars and Nitro was dominating, but I later became a fan of both, and then, when it died off, I had no other choice,
Yeah. Now, you were a big NWO fan, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and from when I talked to you, it seemed like there was a few years where you got away from wrestling. When did you get back in, and what was the main thing that got you back in?
Well, I kind of got out of wrestling that era with Edge and Cena, maybe
Okay.
at the end of that rivalry.
So kind of the 06 to 08 type time?
Yeah, I would say about 06, maybe early 07, and I got back in 2010 maybe.
Okay.
Things that got me back in it was just, I was talking about it with other people.
Yeah.
And just one day I happened to just go on Raw one night and watched it, and I was like, wow, things have changed.
Yeah.
And also, I was still a big fan of the video games.
Okay.
And when I would see different faces, I was like, man, who are these guys?
Yeah.
So I got back into it, and now I've been watching it for almost 4 years straight now without even trying to stop, and I'm probably a bigger fan than I ever was.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you never really got away from it. You just kind of had a period where you just didn't watch as much. You didn't watch from week to week.
No, I never watched it when I was younger, yes.
Yes.
There was even SmackDown. Even now, I don't watch SmackDown.
Well, SmackDown's not worth watching, man.
But back then, I used to be, like, when it first started, I would hit previous channel when Nitro was on.
Yeah.
And then Raw.
Okay. All right, man. Well, that sounds good. We have a little background on my buddy James here, and since you guys know him, and since you already know me, we'll just jump right into the matches. All right, now before we get into the matches, you wanted to talk about Hulk Hogan real quick, right?
Yeah, this is the only thing I like about the whole show, how they opened up, like, basically Hogan being a promoter. Like, you have probably the most iconic hero for just about every WWE superstar. He may be like everybody's hero, and this is what you had him do. You could
Hogan,
something else.
He doesn't need to sell the network. We're already watching it, and two,
he didn't even
it's just
sell
ridiculous.
the 2K15 Hulkamania game, man.
So I think we can just say it's ridiculous that Hulk Hogan is just shilling the network.
It was a waste for Hogan to be there.
With that being said, we'll jump into the first match. First match of the evening, we had The Miz defending the Intercontinental Championship against the show-off Dolph Ziggler. Now, for a fan of Dolph Ziggler, as I assume me and you both are, right, James?
Oh, yeah.
As a fan of Dolph Ziggler, this was about the perfect way to open the show, to see him finally get something, just anything, to see him get the Intercontinental Championship. Now, I know on a scale of 1 to 10, I was a 10 with excitement when this happened. Were you pretty excited?
Oh, yeah, very excited with the outcome, because I feel like WWE's, taking a load on Ziggler ever since he got that injury.
Yes, definitely.
And, man, he deserves so much. I think he's probably the actual best wrestler in the whole business right now. And,
yeah, I can't disagree with that.
And Miz being the Intercontinental Championship, but glad what the outcome was.
What I said about Miz a couple months ago, when everyone was so mad he won the title.
Yeah.
How happy were we when someone we love was able to take it off of him?
That's even better.
Yeah, it's even better than it would have been.
Better to see somebody that we wouldn't like as much.
Yeah, which I gotta say, I like Hollywood Miz. He's done a good job, but at the same time, I'm so happy that Dolph Ziggler. But this was a great way to open the show. Guy we love as big wrestling fans. See him finally, as I said, get something. Ziggler has struggled for so long, and now you can attest to this, James. Whenever Ziggler won the Intercontinental belt, I started doing the Daniel Bryan yes, which this guy wouldn't do it with me because he's not a Daniel Bryan fan, but We'll forgive you.
Yeah, I'm not a big Daniel Bryan fan. I prefer Dolph over Daniel. I know everybody probably doesn't like that.
No. Dolph is a great wrestler,
but I'm
man.
not trying to be biased on, Dolph Ziggler. It's just, come on. It's Miz, come on.
Yeah, no. I love to hate him, but do I want him as my Intercontinental Champion?
And now this is like how we were talking about what would be a great setup. A great intercontinental rivalry would be Ziggler, Cesaro. If that could happen, that would be really awesome.
Well, WWE, you heard us. Ziggler, Cesaro, book it. We want to see it. Ziggler can provide great wrestling, and hopefully, he'll have a nice long reign as Intercontinental Champion of the world. So, moving on to the next match, we got AJ defending her Divas Championship against the anti-Diva Paige. Now, Mr. James, are you an AJ Lee guy, or are you a Paige guy?
I'm AJ. I mean, I like both of them, but, if I were to pick one as my girlfriend, it'd be AJ.
You're going to steal AJ from CM Punk?
Yeah, down the long run,
That's okay. I'm sure Punk's a little flabby these days. You could probably take him.
Yeah.
Me personally, I'm a Paige guy. I have nothing against AJ, but there's something different about Paige. The combination of her skin with that dark hair. Just.
We'll see what it is, though.
Yeah.
This has been the first pay-per-view, I think, in a long time. Actually, I'm going to be honest, I haven't been interested in the Divas division since Trish Stratus and all, back in the day.
But to be honest, there's no reason to be interested for a while.
Well, now there is.
Yes.
These two girls are like the future of the Divas division.
Yes. We're joking about their attractiveness, but this was the best Divas match I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the end, Paige won with... It
was better than the Stephanie McMahon match. To be in the two Divas.
We'll get onto that match later.
But just saying, I'm just throwing that one out there. But,
What was the name of that cradle DDT move?
Rampage.
DDT, I like that move much more than her Paige Turner weird Russian leg sweep. Yeah. I still like that submission move she does.
Yeah.
But this was a good match, and I'm, are you looking forward to this continuing until Night of Champions?
I think it's going to continue until maybe Hell in a Cell, maybe further.
No.
Night of Champions.
In all honesty, is there any other diva you could see right now that's worth challenging for the belt?
Just besides one of the Bellas twins? I really don't.
Because the Divas division is very weak. You have the Bellas, these two women, AJ and Paige.
Well, to be honest, the Divas division is basically a TV show for a bunch of ladies that look pretty. They're not.
That's true to an extent.
Anymore.
And what's annoying is someone like Natalya, who I feel like is a very good wrestler, but now she's just known for her role in Total Divas. But who knows? Maybe somewhere down the line when this Paige AJ thing is over.
I feel bad for the influence on women fans, for the WWE.
Yeah.
Because as a kid, you want to be a wrestler. There's girls that want to be wrestlers.
Yeah.
They need people like AJ Lee and Paige who are great athletes.
Yeah.
And when you're just seeing all these girls that come out to do a 2-minute match most of the time, just to take some space out of Raw,
And see, I know, speaking of that, I know you find Eva Marie extremely attractive.
Oh, yeah, dude.
But, I personally can't stand her because I don't feel like she deserves to be in the wrestling industry. She's a pretty face who is on Total Divas, and as a result, she's on Monday Night Raw.
I've never seen
her. Well, then you're a luckier man than I am. She is god-awful, but the pieces are there for the Divas division with AJ, Paige, Natalya. I always get the Funkadactyls mixed up, but the one with the big butt is really good.
They're pretty good athletes, too.
They are. The pieces are there,
but they're just not up to that level like AJ. I would say like AJ and Paige are like the John Cena and CM Punk of our time, even though CM Punk's not in the business.
Yeah. The pieces are there, and I know you're not as big a viewer of NXT as I am, but there's talent down there like Ric Flair's daughter, Charlotte,
Yeah, you
Bailey.
were telling me about her the other day.
She's very good. The talent's there.
Since
hopefully.
Now I have the $9.99 network, I could watch NXT anytime. I need to get caught up on it.
Well, that's our little rant about divas. Next up on the card, we had a flag match between the Bulgarian Brute and Swagger. Alright, before we actually get talking about the Swagger Rusev match, I feel there's something I need to let you guys know about my co-host for this review, James. This guy is in love with Lana.
Alright, see, here you go. You're throwing me under the bus. Like, all your fans are gonna think I'm like a perverted freak or something. Because we've been talking about Eva
Well,
Marie, we've been talking about AJ Lee.
They're good-looking women, man.
Yeah, Lana, I think she's like one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen in my life.
Okay.
Like, even, you know, when we were watching this match and we would see her, I would just yell out, "Oh my God, she's perfect!" Like, her nose is perfect, her eyes.
No, see, I just said you liked her. I never went into that sort of detail you just did. But you know, now that we've talked about Lana, this flag match, I'm not quite sure why it was called a flag match. If anything, it should have been called a national anthem match.
Yeah.
You know, whoever won, if Swagger won,
Like,
then our national anthem would play.
I remember seeing an actual flag match. I've never seen one in the WWE, but I've seen one in WCW.
Yeah.
But I know they were, on the turnbuckles on the top?
Yeah, the objective was to climb up to turnbuckle and get your country's flag.
But this one was just a regular singles, regular match with all the rules and everything. There was nothing special about this match, but it was still a good match.
Yeah, with that being said, you know, I've said this in reviews in the past. These guys aren't going to have the most technical matches. You know, it's not a CM Punk match. It's not a Daniel Bryan match. But there is always something about seeing two big bulls just running head-to-head against each other.
And out of all the outcomes of SummerSlam, this is the one I'm most surprised about, because I really thought Swagger was going to win this one, because how the way he came out, you know, with
oh yes,
I don't remember, were they Marines? I think they were Marines.
I believe so.
But how he came out, and after already losing the first time, you know, they could have set this up as Swagger Rusev 3.
Yeah.
For Night of maybe not Night of Champions.
Maybe for a big match on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
Or,
and you know, see who could get the edge, but you know, Swagger's down 0-2 in this rivalry, and it's you know.
I think this was more so to get Rusev over. You know, he's still undefeated in WWE, and until I saw what happened at the end of the night, I thought he was being built up for an eventual match against John Cena.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm not to get ahead of ourselves, but
I think John Cena's gonna be around.
It might be a while before we see old John Cena. But you know, the basics.
I hope we're not spoiling anything. What if somebody's watching this or hearing this and they haven't even seen anything about SummerSlam yet? So let's
well, guys, if
let's just
don't watch this video until you watch SummerSlam if you don't want any spoilers.
Yeah, sucks for you.
But before the match, we saw Rusev. We saw where Rusev went after Swagger. Swagger got him in the ankle lock, the Patriot lock.
Yeah, Swagger, before he got attacked, it looked like he was going to slam down the flag like he captured Iwo Jima or something.
But here, it was nice to see the ankle targeted early. Just, it weakened Rusev. You know, there was something throughout the match that gave you some doubt. You know, he might tap out. He might not be able to last the whole match. But I don't know. You said you were surprised. I see Rusev keeping this undefeated streak a little while longer. But
see, I don't like these undefeated streak things because
there's the inevitable comparison to Goldberg.
Yeah.
WCW.
I'm not trying to compare. I'm not saying I like the Undertaker undefeated streak. I'm talking about like, you know, throughout your career undefeated. Yeah. I think it's kind of ridiculous, but you know, like I told you earlier, I don't see Rusev being that big of a star in a year from now. Yeah. I see him as one of those guys that'll be out in a year. But
you know, and what I told you, if he evolves, like if he just stays with this anti-Russian thing, yeah, he'll be out very quickly. But I think he can evolve. You know, he's a big athletic guy, and I think he'll be fine. Yeah. Now, I had a quick question for you about Jack Swagger. You know, this whole "We the People" thing has gotten huge. What do you think's more popular? Do you think Swagger's actually as popular as it seems, or is people just saying "We the People"? Is that the more popular thing here?
Oh, I think Zeph's more popular than Jack Swagger is.
Zeb is?
Yeah.
I agree with that. I mean, I'm a fan of Zeb. I mean, Jack, he's a big guy. It's fun to watch him wrestle, but that's about it. So.
Yeah, we're watching him wrestle, and you can't be somebody's fan because he always seems to let us down against them, and he's, you know, he's representing us as the country, you know, and he's let us down twice.
Yeah. With that being said, you know, like I said, it was a good physical back and forth match that in the end saw Rusev lock in his camel clutch that he calls the Accolade, and he was able to. Swagger didn't tap out; he didn't give up, but he did pass out.
It was a clean match. No, none of them, you know, Zep or
it was true.
They didn't interfere or anything.
Yeah. Now after the match, Rusev came and he kicked Zeb in the head. which I saw something like that coming. You know, now before people. Well, here, did you see that coming, James?
Well, when he was just sitting in the middle of the ring,
yeah,
Jack and Rusev just started to stare at him.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, what else do you think's happening? He wasn't going to
exactly.
go and shake his hand.
Now, before people get all up in arms about it, you know, I feel like a lot of people don't know that Zeb Coulter has a past career as Dirty Dutch Mantel, where he wrestled for probably the last 30 years. You know, and as recent as a year or two ago, he was doing matches in Tennessee against Jerry Lawler. So, you know, Dutch Mantel is a longtime wrestler.
So basically, he can take a blow to the chin.
He can take a small.
It wasn't even in the chin. He got
yeah.
hit in the shoulder anyways.
Yeah.
It's all good.
The only thing that
be at Raw tomorrow.
The only thing that annoyed me about this match was one obvious miss, where Rusev was going for a spinning wheel kick, and he didn't even come close.
He just got him right on the shoulder.
Yeah, but other than that, it was a good back and forth match. I think this is the end of Rusev and Swagger.
Yeah, what are we now in the third match, SummerSlam, and this match? None of the matches have seemed to disappoint.
No, very good show, very good show. But you know, it'll be interesting to see where both these guys go from here.
And that's good when you have like these, none of the main cards, and you have these matches that have you sit down instead of going to the bathroom or something, waiting for the main event.
And that's why I'm saying this is my favorite show. This is my favorite show of the year, because even WrestleMania, something like the Shield against the New Age Outlaws and Kane was nothing more than a toilet break. And that Divas Battle Royal was the same way. But
I'm telling you, but I'm not going to go far ahead of ourselves. But
WrestleMania
this year could be huge.
It could be.
Cena, Hogan, Sting, Undertaker. Just throwing it out there.
Well, you heard this guy's predictions. With that being said, we're going to move on to the next match. And it featured former members of the Shield facing for the first. Oh my goodness. Crazy, chaotic, nuts. These are some words that definitely describe the Lumberjack match, which I'm still disappointed in the Lumberjack stipulation, but it worked out here. But those words describe the match between Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. We saw some crazy spots. What was the first one where he suplexed?
Suplexed him onto like
Dean suplexed Seth onto the Lumberjacks.
Yeah, onto like Goldust. I think it was to Goldust,
and you thought he hit his head you thought he had his head pretty good on the announce table.
Yeah, he like bounced off of somebody. I think it was, I don't know who it was, and he like hit his jaw on the announce table.
But this was a crazy back and forth match. They brawled in the ring. They brawled around the ring.
And with the crowd.
In the crowd, those people got their money's worth.
Yeah.
And it looked like Seth was going to run away, but some of the Lumberjacks stopped him. The Dust Brothers, Gold and Star, along with the Usos. Go ahead.
Official Kane came in as well.
I like Corporate Kane, but we won't talk about Corporate Kane. You know, they got back in the ring, and I mean, it was just a crazy brawl. This wasn't a wrestling match. This was a fight. You know, and I love Dean Ambrose.
It was hatred, that's why.
It was hatred, yes. And I'm glad these two didn't fight at Battleground now, because this felt like a big deal.
Right.
You know, they finally got their hands on each other, and I was ready for it. Now, you know, great match back and forth. Saw some crazy things from both guys, and in the end, we saw Dean Ambrose hit the curb stomp, and it looked like Dean was going to win at that point. And then, through some shenanigans and some distractions, Seth Rollins was able to grab his Money in the Bank briefcase and hit Dean over the head with it and get the victory.
Which was a big letdown for me, because this was hyped for, almost 2 months now?
Almost 2 months, yeah.
And just to have the match end like that.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's who Seth Rollins is, you know? Like you said earlier, he was going to win however he can. So he found a really easy way to win. Easy way out.
No, that didn't take away from the match for me. I mean, you know, we talked about this a few minutes ago. It's the only good Lumberjack match that I remember.
Yeah, it was a Lumberjack match. I thought it was a no DQ match. But this is a good start from the beginning of these two.
Now, my prediction for this is, I think this is going to continue until Hell in a Cell. I think they'll have another match at Night of Champions. And my prediction is that Dean will win the match, and then they'll be tied up at 1 apiece.
Okay.
And what better way to settle this?
I have a similar prediction.
Go ahead.
I think this is going to be the best rivalry of the year.
Okay.
I think there will be another match, and then another, which will be for the Money in the Bank contract. That's what I'm thinking.
So I'm predicting that they're going to have a Hell in a Cell match in October.
Yeah.
And you're predicting that they're going to have a third and final match for the Money in the Bank.
Yeah, and whoever's the winner of that, I'm not going to go as far as predicting who he's going to cash it on, whoever wins or anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's just my prediction. But the match was great.
It really was.
It was old school wrestling at its finest. It was hardcore. I mean, they didn't use weapons hardcore, but you know, it was a brawl. It was a street fight.
Well, the kind of steal a line from Tommy Dreamer that he uses now. Hardcore isn't about weapons and things of that sort. It's the attitude.
Right.
It's how you wrestle. It's the intensity. But with that being said, we'll move on to the next match. Jericho. Right, up next was Jericho and Wyatt, and it was a good match, but on the whole show, you know, see if you agree with me on this, James. It was my least favorite match on the show.
Yeah, but it's not saying it was.
No. From top to bottom,
and you know
there was great wrestling.
You saying it was your least favorite match of the show really sounds like that Divas match was really good.
Steph and Brie?
No.
Oh, AJ and
Lee. If we're saying that this was our least favorite of the show.
I enjoyed AJ and Paige.
But anyways,
more.
Yeah, this match it wasn't bad, but it seemed like they didn't click tonight. Like,
no,
they weren't on top of their game tonight.
Everything seemed a little bit in slow motion for some reason, but you know there was some great things in this match, like when Wyatt would do his crazy walk or different looks he would give. Jericho did look stunned and confused.
Yeah.
So I guess the acting aspect of this match I really enjoyed, but I don't know, like you said, something just didn't click.
Jericho wasn't really Jericho tonight.
He
wasn't like going for it.
This last run back has been weird because he's had a couple good matches, but even in his couple runs before this, he was having great matches consistently. You know, I don't know what it is. The guy's still in tremendous shape, you know, but something just seems off about this run.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe he's expecting more from the company.
I don't know. But with that being said, the purpose was served here. Jericho, we know at this point, he comes back, and when he does, he generally puts younger stars over. You know, he's put over Fandango, Curtis Axel, and, you know, now he's put Bray Wyatt over, and Wyatt can claim to have a victory over the 6-time World Heavyweight Champion.
First undisputed champion.
Now, I expect this to go until Night of Champions simply because now they're tied 1 apiece. Do you expect the same thing?
No, I think it's yeah, maybe one more match.
Maybe one more?
Maybe not at Night of Champions, maybe Raw in a week or two. I don't think tomorrow night.
Yeah. Hopefully if they have one more match after these 2 matches together, along with, I'm sure, multiple matches on the house show circuit, maybe something in that last match will click that just hasn't so far.
Yeah, they'll probably save best for last. I don't know. I don't really know what happened.
But with that being said, I'm not one time did I call this a bad match. Yeah. You know, just compared to a lot of the other things on the show, it just didn't stack up.
Again, just showing you how good this SummerSlam was. So if you didn't see it, you missed out.
You can order the WWE Network for $9.99 and watch it.
Yeah, do it before it's $19.99.
Now, up next, we got one of my favorite things of the night, and I am very surprised in saying that for sure. Alright, now this match definitely surprised me, but before we get into the actual match, now, James, what was your first reaction when you saw Stephanie's outfit?
Like she was gonna wear that tonight for Triple H.
She was hot.
She looked really good. She looked in shape.
Oh no,
better in shape than I am.
Oh, definitely. No, Stephanie would kick my ass, but. You know, she's in tremendous shape.
Maybe you.
She'd kick your ass. But with that being said, you could tell, you know, she looked great. She's obviously, you know, she trains a ton. She trained for this match. For someone who hadn't wrestled a match in 10 years, and if you want to see something really weird, go back and watch her match with Vince. But for someone who hadn't wrestled in 10 years, she looked better now than she ever did back then.
Yeah, she did.
You know, do you remember her ever having a decent match, you know, back then?
No, not even when she was the women's champion.
No. I mean, this, you know, her and Brie Bella, you know, a few of the moves Stephanie pulled out that surprised me. She pulled out a very nice DDT, a rolling neck snap.
Oh yeah, that DDT, she like textbooked it.
Oh, that was perfect.
Like, you don't even see regular superstars doing it that good.
Yeah. No, that was textbook. That was perfect. Brie had some nice spots. She had a nice little missile drop kick, along with things such as the Fez press. And she had Stephanie locked up in Daniel Bryan's yes lock. Now, before this, we saw Triple H come down to the ring along with Nikki Bella, and that would turn out to be an important factor. Just as Steph was about to tap out to the yes lock, Triple H pulled referee John Cone out of the ring, and he suffered a drop kick from Brie?
Yeah, a missile drop kick, like through the ropes.
Yeah, kind of a missile drop kick.
She didn't go out of the ring, she just...
Nah, but it was still nice.
Yeah, it was still nice.
So,
I don't think it would have put Triple H on his back like it did. Let's be nice.
It's wrestling. We gotta suspend our beliefs a little bit.
Let's be nice.
Let's agree. If a pretty woman kicked you in the face, you'd be down for a few seconds.
Brie Bryant.
Brie Bryant, yeah. But now, Nikki entered the ring after this, and Stephanie was in a Bella sandwich. I wouldn't mind being in a Bella sandwich.
Right.
But, and it looked like Stephanie was about to get what was coming to her. Nikki Bella reared her arm back, and she hit her twin sister Brie.
Yeah, no more double dating with Bryan and Cena, I guess.
Man, such a shame too.
Right.
What's gonna happen on Total Divas now?
What's gonna happen tomorrow?
We'll have to wait.
I think
and
it's
see.
gonna be like oh, Brie, I had to do it. Stephanie was offering me a woman title shot. At Night of Champions or something. Crap like that.
Something like that.
Say. Or I don't know, maybe her job or something. She was gonna get fired or something.
Now, after the strike, Stephanie was able to hit Brie with a nice looking pedigree.
But let's talk about the actual match. It was good. Like you were talking about the move that Stephanie put. Like, man, Stephanie was good. Stephanie was dominating her in the beginning.
Nah, Stephanie, like I said, she's better now than she was 10 years ago, and she was able to win with that pedigree in the end. And like I said, I was expecting a cat fight, some brawling type stuff. And this wound up to be a legitimately good wrestling match.
I don't even think they needed Triple H or Nikki. I mean, I guess that's just how the story was built.
Yeah, but it seemed like on their own they were doing a good enough job of having a match.
Yeah, it was a pretty good match.
So, with that being said, I have two questions for you, man. One, do you see Stephanie wrestling more often in the future?
Against Brie, but that's it. Or maybe Nikki, maybe next.
Okay. My thing on that is, since I feel like this was a test run, like if she went out and had a good match, she's not going to wrestle full time, obviously, but if she wants to have a match at a WrestleMania or Survivor Series, she could definitely do it. There's no question about that.
Yeah, maybe like some way, somehow they get Brie and Nikki get like a handicap match at WrestleMania on Stephanie or something like that.
Yeah. That would take some story development, but hey, it could always happen. It's the WWE. And the other question I have...
I mean, what else do they do?
We'll just have to wait and see, man.
All
right. Are you looking forward to Nikki against Brie?
Do I want to watch it, or do I want the story to happen?
Are you just looking forward to them having a rivalry overall? Are you looking forward to sister against sister?
Not really.
Not really?
To be honest. Maybe one match. That's it.
Okay.
Not multiple.
No, I think it'll be interesting going forward.
If it does happen, it won't happen on Raw. It might be a tag team match with some other divas.
Yeah.
Could be. Oh, what would be nice?
What's that, man?
Paige, Nikki, versus AJ Lee and Brie.
That might be somewhere to go.
Tomorrow night.
Yeah. With that being said, the only other thing I want to talk about is real quick on that ridiculous Daniel Bryan cheating storyline. They addressed it very quickly. Apparently, the story is Stephanie paid that woman to tell those lies, and I'm glad that was done away with.
That didn't have to be there. That was stupid.
But but again, I enjoyed this 10 times more than I ever thought I would, and it'll be interesting to see where this goes from here. Next up on the card, we had it was a good match. I was surprised it went in this spot for sure, in the death spot. Right, now this Orton Reigns match, there wasn't nothing fancy about it. Some of these other matches with guys like Rollins, Ambrose, and you'll see some of these crazy things. There was nothing crazy about this match.
There was one crazy thing that when Reigns was going for that Superman punch, and he was in midair, and Randy connected him with RKO.
Yeah, but this was more just, it was a hard-hitting, physical back-and-forth match.
It was my favorite match of the night.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a little surprising.
Yeah, my favorite match.
Okay. But in the end, Randy was going for the punt kick, which I would like to see that move a little more often, but You know, with that being said, he went for the punt kick. Roman was able to avoid it. He was able to hit Randy with the spear, which is, in my opinion, the best spear since Bill Goldberg.
Right.
So, just a brutal spear, and Reigns got the 1-2-3. Now, you're a Roman Reigns guy, right?
Yeah, this match right here in the power rankings list, I don't know what Roman Reigns is, but this had to put Roman up. You know, beating the first ever World Heavyweight Champion.
The first
Yeah.
WWE World Heavyweight Champion, I guess is what they said, yeah.
Yeah.
But now, with this win, it seems like Reigns is he's continually going up the ladder until, and I've told you my prediction is that he'll win the Royal Rumble and that he'll
I have a
win the
question for
title.
you about Roman.
Go ahead, man.
All right. So, what do you believe? Do you believe it's the popularity of Roman, or is it his actual ability that's brought him up?
I will say I think he's a very popular guy. He's someone I find easy to like.
Right.
And part of that was because he was with Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose for so long.
Right.
He was around great wrestlers, and he was kind of, pardon the pun, he was shielded a little bit.
Right.
But with that being said, I do think his ability is improving.
Yeah.
And I think, he's now a popular guy who at the same time is getting better in the ring. And to kind of add on to that, we saw him, I wouldn't say he added a new move because he does the Samoan drop quite regularly, but he did a Samoan drop from the top rope. I'd like to see Roman add to his repertoire.
Yeah.
He does the Superman punch, he does the spear, he does a Samoan drop.
He reminds me of a bigger version of Sting because he has such great energy when he's wrestling. He's jumping around everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's jumping off the turnbuckle or anything, but he's jumping around in the ring.
Yeah.
Flying clothesline, Superman punch, and then when you're on that turnbuckle and he flies onto you.
Oh, I do love that drop kick. That is one of my favorite moves in wrestling right now.
Back to that question I asked you, I think Roman's more famous because of his look and his popularity. Not to me. That's not why I like him. I like him because he's one of my favorite wrestlers now. Actually, I like him for him. He was my favorite guy back in the Shield.
Yeah.
And he's one of my top 3-tier guys now. Current wrestlers, I mean.
I do like, his promo, his talking does need to get better.
Yeah.
But I like the silent badass that he is right now.
I like what he did on Raw.
With the knock the fangs down a Viper's throat line.
No, when he was in the ring talking, and then right before he dropped the mic, not what he said, but it was.
Yeah, I think it was that Viper and the fangs line. But now it does seem like they're positioning Roman Reigns as the heir apparent to John Cena.
Right.
Would you be okay if Roman Reigns was the guy they decided to go with for the next several years to be the top guy?
Yeah, no, because Cena still has like a long career and.
Well, I will say, in respect to that, Cena, I think he's between 35 and 37 now.
Yeah.
And he can't do the schedule he does right now forever. Yeah. We've seen him tear his pec muscle. We've seen him get multiple injuries.
For me, Cena could take like a year or 2 off right now. And then come back and wrestle for another 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
He doesn't have to be full-time, but that's what he does. That's what he likes to do, I mean, hey, if he wants to be like that, let him be like that. Yeah. To me, that's why I like him better than The Rock now, because, he didn't leave us. Okay. And I guess I don't know why, but people don't respect him. But he stuck with us through it all. And I think people saying they get sick of seeing him, like, really? Like, how do you get sick of somebody who does something for you? But I can see him, Roman Reigns, overthrowing him or whatever. Yeah. But there's Randy Orton as well. Yeah.
Well, I think Randy's fine. Randy's spot is well cemented. He can afford to lose. But. And, I want to touch on Cena real quick. I don't think that people don't respect him. Yeah. I know I have a lot of respect for the guy. My main issue with him is he's been the same guy for 10 years. Yeah. There's been no evolution of the character. Eventually, people got tired of seeing Hulk Hogan as the take your vitamins, say your prayers guy.
But that's never going to change. Cena's the face. Cena's the one that the kids like. Yeah. Cena's not going to do like what The Rock did when he came back and he changed his music and he came and he became an ass. Yeah. Cena's never going to do that. Cena's on all these charities and everything.
If I have any request to Cena, and we got it in the build to our main event, he didn't really do the comedy stuff. Yeah. I like Cena when he's serious.
Yeah.
When he's serious, he's great. But all the Cena talk leads in perfectly to our main event of the evening, which featured now this main event matchup between the Beast Incarnate John Cena, or the Beast Incarnate John Cena, the Beast Incarnate Brock Lesnar, facing John Cena for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. I think can be summed up in 2 words: suplex and domination. Me and you counted. Cena only got in
like 3 moves.
He got in 1 attitude adjustment, an STF, and like 1 other thing, but that was it.
Yeah.
Other than those couple moves, Brock hit German suplex after suplex after suplex after
suplex.
Suplex.
This being SummerSlam, like next to like WrestleMania, is like one of the biggest stages of WWE.
Mm-hmm.
What I describe this to as Brock Lesnar was Seattle and John Cena was the Broncos. This was a blowout.
Utter domination.
You don't see blowouts in a main event of a pay-per-view. You really don't see blowouts a lot.
Well, have we ever seen John Cena look that weak? That's the best way I can describe it. Have we ever seen him look that weak?
I don't know. I don't know if it was planned to be like that, or if John Cena actually did get hurt in a match and was like, this just has to end or something.
I do think that was how it's planned, just because Brock Lesnar is the one who conquered the streak. He is a physical beast, you know. And I've said before, if he would have lost tonight, that would have been spitting in the face of The Undertaker. But
yeah, I didn't think there was any chance Cena was going to win tonight.
Yeah, but I mean, with that being said, I was expecting a little more. I was expecting something closer to their Extreme Rules match.
Yeah, it was nothing like what they hyped it to be of the fight of the summer.
Well, no, I'll disagree with that, because at times a fight feels uncomfortable to watch.
Right.
You know what I mean? When in UFC, if this one guy's just getting dominated, he's getting elbowed in the face over and over.
Yeah, well,
at some point, it gets hard to watch.
Well, UFC, like, talking about UFC, this was a championship fight. This was a first-round knockout. That's all it was. There was nothing. There was nothing from Cena. There was 1 attitude adjustment. F you. I mean, F you.
We have our ruthless aggression fan here.
And that was it. And what? He punched him in the corner once.
Yeah,
gave him
that was
punches to the gut, to those rock-hard abs that were the size of John Cena's hands. Like,
other than that, like you said, John Cena was the Denver Broncos and Brock Lesnar was Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks.
Right. Sherman, he was everything. He was the Seattle's defense. He was everything.
Yeah. Now,
Cena was the punting team.
With that being said, we obviously know Brock Lesnar's not a full-time guy. You know, he hit Cena with that F5. He's now the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Are you okay with someone who's not a full-time guy being the champion?
Like we've been talking about for a month. No, he has to defend the title every pay-per-view.
Okay.
Besides Survivor Series is the only one I can see him get away with. Like Hell in a Cell, maybe Hell in a Cell. Maybe if some rivalry comes back or something, and they have a Hell in a Cell match, maybe they can get away with it, not having a title match that night.
Yeah.
But Night of Champions, of course not. You know? And I don't even think now, after this night, after tonight, that it'll even be a Cena-Lesnar rematch.
Well, I don't think Cena will be on Raw tomorrow night. I do think he'll be back in the next couple of weeks, and he will challenge Brock at Night of Champions. And the plan I laid out to you earlier, you know, for Brock to be able to defend the title frequently without being on every pay-per-view.
Yeah.
He would defend the title against Cena next month at Night of Champions.
Right.
And then at Hell in a Cell, he wouldn't be on that show. And instead, there would be a number 1 contenders match inside the Hell in a Cell. He would defend the belt at Survivor Series, presumably win. And then at TLC, you could have a number 1 contenders match.
I'm just throwing this out there. WWE should hire me as a writer, but have there ever been a Fatal 4-Way Hell in a Cell match?
Once upon a time, there was a 6-man Hell in a Cell match.
Should have something like that for number 1 contender. That could clear out a main event of a title main event. That could just... Nobody would care if there was like a 4 or 6-man Hell in a Cell match.
Okay, well, you've heard this guy's ideas, and I'm okay with someone who's not a full-time guy being the champion, and we'll see how it works out. I'm a huge Lesnar fan. I'm happy that he's the champion for the first time in 11 years, and I look forward to what I think will be an eventual Roman Reigns against Brock Lesnar match at WrestleMania 31. With all that being said, we've covered the show, man. From top to bottom, I think this is the best show of the year. I'm glad you got to join me for our review today.
Yep, appreciate it, man.
So
anytime.
Yeah, so I'll maybe have a review up for Monday Night Raw tomorrow. We'll see, or maybe MC from the page will do it. But guys, thanks for watching this review. I know it's a little long, but please bear with me. And until next time, you guys, you're marks. So just do what you do. Just keep on marking out.
See ya.